Dawn breaks in Croatia over the SeaNet Europe fleet, and a highly trained crew prepare for the busy day ahead. These are the front-line troops of this successful company, and from my dealings so far with SeaNet, I have to say that each member of the crew does seem to be cherry-picked from the industry's finest, and then trained to radiate a friendly professionalism that just makes you feel at home on board. Actually, today I want to dig a little deeper into the way that SeaNet Europe has become so successful in offering co-ownership solutions for superyachts. But before I talk to the management of the company, I took a few moments to talk to the management of the yachts themselves, that is to say, to the captains. We were privileged to be able to stay on board one of your yachts during the filming of the video, and Bosco, you're the captain of the yacht that we're staying on, so I'll start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and which yacht that you run?
Now I'm on captain of the motor yacht Mr. Z, Benetti Delfino 93 feet. But my backwards was I was captain of different type of the shipyard and yachts. First on American yacht, American production, then Italian, and then back American, then Italian. From Pershing to Broward to Hatteras.
Wow, you were a Broward as well.
Yeah, as well. But my career is almost 25 years in yachting business.
A long time.
A lot of time.
Mostly in Croatian waters or other?
Mostly Croatian water. Mostly, but every season we've been during the Mediterranean, let's say from Split to north up to the Venice, to the North Adriatic, then south to Albania, Greece, Turkey, Malta, Sicily, all over the Mediterranean.
And Marin, we met on the Azimuth 35 when we filmed on that yacht. Can you tell me a bit about your background?
Yes, we met last year in Cannes. At the moment I'm the captain of motor yacht Heed, Azimuth Grande 35. And I have 15 years experience in yachting industry, and I've been captain. In the beginning of my career, I've been working for Sunseeker dealer in Croatia, so I've been mostly on Sunseeker, but all kind of models and all sizes of Sunseekers. Later on, I've been also on Ferretti, Benetti as well. So I changed a lot of different yachts and models during my career. Excellent. Till now.
And Ivo, we've met today for the first time. What yacht are you running and what's your background?
I'm working on motor yacht Uni. It's 35-meter Benetti Mediterraneo from 2018, and model it's 116.
And previously, what were you?
Previously, yes, I've been on 2 Benettis as well. I've been on Hocha Shipyard, Breward as well, mostly Italians. Yeah.
So I've now been on all 3 of your yachts, and I was telling Matty that one of the things that impresses me the most is the standard of the crew, not just the captains, but everybody, the service, the chefs, the stewardesses, the way the yachts are kept so clean and in good working order. First of all, you, Bosco, how do you think SeaNet have accomplished having that high standard across the board?
First, all crew, what came in SeaNet Group, they need some license that should have. Then, experience also in yachting business, because on the SeaNet we have a really, really high standard. And if cannot share with us the challenges and everything, they cannot be on the part of SeaNet team.
Ivo, when you're looking at new crew, whoever it is, what are you looking for in a new crew member?
Most important thing for me, it's a reference from my colleague, of course, and it has to have skills, and depends of the rank, it has to have required certificates, tickets. Also, contact eye to eye, it's very important. Like, what is my feeling about that person, no matter what they say, for them. Yeah. So it's a mix of everything, I would say.
Yeah. I noticed that when we were on Heed last year, there was a real nice vibe amongst the crew. Are you looking for sort of their personalities as well, Marian?
Of course, it was very hard to find right people who are well trained for their position, but most important was their experience and references. And most of my crew were working with me on previous yachts, so we know each other very well. That's the reason why we have very good communication in between us. And they are loyal to me. And I would say we are a great team, used to deal with all kinds of situations and guests on board. Often we have captains also, we have meetings within the company with our operation manager in order to keep training level of the crew same through all crew members.
And don't you find it exhausting? Because you've got, I'll start with you, Bosco, you've got the smallest yacht in the fleet, and but also the one that's been running for the longest. One owner off, the other one on. How do you keep the crew inspired and energized and motivated?
Because my crew, I can tell for my crew, it's a really, really excellent crew. And I must tell, because our co-owners is really, really good guy. Not only the owners, more or less like, I cannot let's say friend, but friendly friend. And for our crew, it's not so hard to make nothing for the co-owners. Because, okay, when the changing time is shift from the guests, we always have 2-3 days for prepare everything for the arrival of the next guests or something. But it's really, really nice to work for SeaNet Europe.
Yeah. So a lot of my closest friends are captains, and I'm talking to them all the time. I was talking to one this morning actually, and they really get worried if there's not enough time for the maintenance and winter works. And I know that with some of the yachts, we're talking about doing dual seasons. How do you, again with you first, Bosco, how do you plan to find time for all the maintenance work on the boat?
I think, and the main things in yachting is the good maintenance. Okay, Ivo say also we have a budget and we change everything what we need to change. Let's say for check, inspection, and really, really yearly, monthly and daily maintenance for everything what they have on devices and everything on the boat, including normally the engine room, the main engines, generators, water makers, compressors, compressors of condition and everything. Every screw was, if it's need, is changing.
Have you ever been told, no, you cannot spend money?
Never. In SeaNet Group, never.
But with previous owners?
Yes, yes. They said it's too expensive for me. Okay, what can we do now?
Yeah. But with SeaNets?
In SeaNet, never.
Yeah.
Never.
And who, I'll ask you, Ivo, who is it in SeaNet, in the management, that you speak to most for maintenance issues and such like?
It's operational manager. He's like a big fender in between crew and the owners.
Gianni?
Gianni.
He's like a big fender.
Yeah, he's looking like a big fender. So yeah, we are bumping him from all the sides. Yeah.
And is he fairly responsive? Does he get back to you quickly?
Yeah. Pretty much quickly. Yeah. But we, as a captains, we have our responsibility. It's not Johnny who can come to engine room and check what we need to do. So it's on us. Also, we have authorities to, let's say, do something on our own and to spend some budget as well. So, yeah.
But Johnny is also previous captain. He was also working on a yacht, so he knows. He knows our situation very well, and also for the budget and for the things which needs to be changed, replaced, serviced, etc.
Get funky. I've been a guest on SeaNet Europe yachts a few times now, and I have to say that the whole operation runs like clockwork. I've always gone away from filming thinking how great it would be to co-own one of their fleet. So let's hear from the people in the company who make that possible to understand exactly how co-ownership works.
So what I'd like you to do is tell me a little bit about the way that SeaNet and the way that you get to know potential co-owners first, and how you adjust what you're offering according to their circumstances in terms of the size of the yacht, the way they're going to use it, where they want to use it, what the best structure for each client is.
Yeah. First of all, the first part of your question is how we get in touch with customers. So we have invested more than $1 million in the past 4 years in marketing. Yeah? So marketing in being part of exhibitions, having a stand, we have been in all the major magazines. We have done a lot of investment in marketing simply to bring the brand and the idea to market. That's one thing. And we are still continuing, but we are going more and more digital because we see that we approach much more people digitally versus the classical way of approach. But that's one part. The nice thing of when you grow, when you have multiple boats in the fleet, that your client base, your customers, my partners become my best ambassadors. So what we now have, we are building more and more a network of people who become part of the SeaNet story. And they start talking about their positive experience, and they bring us other potential buyers. I have frequently that I'm in a weekend, I get on the phone, then I have one of my partners phoning me and I hear he's on the party. Yeah, he's anywhere in the world, he's standing there, he said, I have a friend, Matty, who is willing to buy a boat. I told him he has to do business with you, and I get the phone. So it's now more and more coming out of the network. That's one thing. Okay, when we then address people, and that was the learning curve for me, I'm really passionate about yachting. Yeah, and I think I know a lot about yachting, but I don't know everything. I learn every day, and you learn very often by mistakes. So one of the mistakes that I've done, I tried too much to bring them to the yacht that I believe was the perfect yacht. But it should be the opposite. I should bring them to a yacht that is for them the perfect yacht. So it all starts like an architect is building a house. Yeah? And a good architect, he don't speaks about the house, he first speaks about what are your habits. How much time you spend in your bedroom. Yeah? How much time do you spend in the kitchen, or how do you live your house? Do you invite a lot of people? So there are a lot of multiple questions, and when you reflect that to yachting, are you a single user? Are you simply want to use it with your family? Do you have very often business people on board? Or are you more the party type of guy? So I need to understand what is the purpose of use. How are you going to use? Do you want to visit remote places? Are you more for the fancy places? All those things together define the size, the type of yacht, and then it comes up to the lines, because one line on a boat, I may like it. Recall, I'm a Benetti lover, I love that line, but I've had people say, Matty, very nice for you, but I don't like this shape, I like another shape. So now it's more, we customize around listening and talking with a potential buyer, and then see how can we bring him into a structure of a boat that's really fitting his purpose. Yeah, and that's the way that we approach it.
I remember actually the first time that we spoke, my biggest question was, how do you cope if one owner is very quiet and a family man and has his children on board, and another owner likes to do crazy things and parties, and we all know what happens on some yachts.
I will answer you very short. Yeah, it's in our company, it's all about quality and not about quantity. Yeah, and what does quality mean for me? We want to have qualified buyers. And I don't want to be arrogant, but we don't accept everybody. It sounds maybe a little bit arrogant, but we try to bring family-oriented people, normal people, whatever normal means. Yeah, we want to bring people together who want to enjoy the yachts, the lifestyle, and who fit with each other. So when you we are not a company for the really party bangers. That's not us. We try to simply bring people together who have a good fit, because together with party, I give you an example. When you really have a party boat, and captains know that very well, you very often come in the nice places, you are moored back door, and then you have all through the night, you have the music. Very often the captains of the marina locally come back to you and say, put the music down. So you get a lot of stress. When I'm then in that same boat, I'm the family guy, I am the next one who uses the boat, I'm confronted with the fact that the marina says, no, you cannot enter anymore. You have been that boat with a lot of noise, with a lot of this. Yes. So I have to be very prudent because you build up a certain reputation. And for the marinas and the place that you go to, it's not the owner, it's simply the name of the boat. And at a certain point, they block you as a boat. So I have to be very prudent. So we are very selective in who we want to get without being only looking to elite. But we want to try to bring people together who, from my point of view, when we talk with each other, that fit in our structure.
Yes. Compatible.
Compatible. That, I think it's so important. And that's also the luxury that we have. I have the luxury that I don't need to grow fast. So I don't need to accept every sale. So when it goes slow, it goes slow. It costs money, but I believe really that in the long term, that quality will survive and quality will bring us a success.
Which is very different to the usual yacht sales, where we're not really interested as long as the money is coming from a legal source and that they pass due diligence.
Yeah, but that's not.
We don't care what they do with the yacht afterwards.
I know, but in co-ownership, you have to care, because I'm coming back to the point. Our journey starts when you sign. It don't ends. Yeah. So when the money is paid, and then it starts, then me together with our operations team, or our operations manager, we have to manage those people. And the more crazy you get, the more difficult that they are to manage. And we don't want to have that. Keep in mind, party, and I don't want to go to an ethical discussion, but party and drugs is not far away from each other. Can you imagine? I'm the family guy with my children coming on board. And my earlier partner is the party guy using drugs on my. They put my boat on chain. That are things that I want to avoid as much as possible.
But also I've noticed that the Benetti Delfino, for example, which is the older yacht in the fleet, it still looks brand new because the people on board are respectful.
Yeah, but it's a combination of having owners who respect the boat. It's having a top team of crew who's motivated to do it, and having a company who appreciates their work, and a very important point, the necessary budget to do that. So when you would go in detail on our Delfino with 6 years and 3,000 hours of engine and 7,000 hours of generator use, you will not believe that this is a 6-year-old boat. Yeah. But it costs a lot of dedication, time, good team and budget. And when you have that combination, you can have a very nice boat, even when it goes up to 10 years. I really believe in that. But it's all a matter of planning and handling it in a professional way.
So if I was coming to you as a new client, in effect, what can you offer me?
There are 3 different questions I hear from every single person that I talk to. 1, how does it work?
Yes.
2, how do I get in and how do I get out? Yeah. And thirdly, how trustworthy is this whole concept? Because it's pretty new. So basically, if people want to enter the yachting world, and we have spoken to them, and we offer them a standard package, meaning a 16% in a super yacht. So we specialize in yachts. 16%. So we specialize in yachts between 30 to 60 meters. That's more or less our niche. And 16% would offer you a guaranteed 4 weeks use in Europe and 2 weeks in the Caribbean. From the years that we are doing this, we see that all of our clients are active business people, and spending more than 6 weeks a year is already a struggle. So 6 weeks, we found that as a sweet spot. If you have the combination of 4 weeks Europe and 2 weeks Caribbean, that works perfectly. So you dissect, or your investment in your fund goes from 100% down to 16%. Secondly, your running cost goes down from 100% to 16%. So your financial cash out is 1/6. Then it's an equity ownership. You own actual ownership in the yacht. Yeah. And secondly, there's a management company that does everything for you, which is SeaNet. So we have a service level agreement with that company, and we make sure that there is crew, there is maintenance, there is a concierge service. So it's an A to Z service. At the end, if I want to exit, then we sell your share to an next incoming buyer. So it means there's an entry, there's an exit, there's a full management in between, yes, and the customer can the only thing he has to do is to enjoy the vessel. And for us, that's a system that now works perfectly.
Yeah. So if I'm a new buyer and I sign up with you, really all I need to do once the contract is signed is make monthly payments to SeaNet, a one-off payment per year? How does that work?
So there's a one entry to buy and acquire a share in the yacht.
Yeah.
That's a one-off payment. Then we agree beforehand a budget for the yearly running cost. That's been discussed with the whole team, everybody from the cruise involved. It's a transparent budget, and we try to achieve that budget and obviously try to improve it with the owners. That's being paid at the beginning of the season. So we don't want to have any discussions with people saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. It's a consensus. We as SeaNet put a standard out there. You as an owner sign for it. So the money is being paid for the boat. The budget is being paid for the running cost. And obviously when you come on board, there's the fuel and food that is separately. But if you do that from the beginning, and there's an agreement from all the co-owners, we don't have any arguments afterwards. I think that's a very important topic. I think it's pretty important to understand what is the difference between timeshare and actual co-ownership, because that's a big misconception. And most of the journalists and clients that I talk to have that question. So how do I get in? How do I get out? What is the management of the boat? How do I enjoy? And then, by the way, it sounds like timeshare. We own something together. Can you please explain how that works? Very simple explained is with timeshare, you buy the right to use something. 50 people buy an apartment somewhere, they own 2 weeks, they sign a contract for 30 years, and they buy the right to use that apartment. They don't own the actual bricks and mortar. Yeah? It's just a contract that you prepay your holiday for 30 years. With co-ownership, if the 4 of us would buy it, we actually own 25% of the vessel. Meaning if in 3 or 4 or 5 years we sell the yacht, the funds that will come back will be divided among the 4 of us. So it's an equity ownership. So big difference, timeshare is the right to use, co-ownership I actually own. Another big difference is with timeshare they allow a multiple of people, 40, 50, 60 people into apartments, which causes reservation issues, which has any headaches. With co-ownership, we want to guarantee people access. So 2, 3, 4, 6, depending on the seasons, that everybody has guaranteed access.
And so it's a question of matchmaking the person to the right yacht. But I was speaking with Matty a lot as well about matchmaking the quality of clients that you have. Can you explain that to me in more depth?
Yeah, so a UK family, very experienced in yachting, with children, prefers to cruise in August. Say it would be ideal if you could find me a family which likes to cruise in July, for instance. Yeah, we like a particular client of family, not the party people who look after a boat, because a boat 5, 10, 20 million is a big amount of money. They're looking for somebody who really matches them, not just from a financial point of view, but also that looks after the boat and really looks for the quality in the yacht and the service. So basically what I do, I talk to people from Australia, from America, from South America, and I try to find the right match, both from the quality style, but also for the fact that their vacation time matches them.
So how do you see things developing as the fleet with SeaNet gets bigger? How is that going to be able to help you to offer more flexibility to your clients?
Yeah, I see multiple advantages. One advantage is when I bought Uni, so what is the 35-meter version boat, yeah, 35 Benetti Mediterraneo. I saw already that my first starters, my first partners in the Benetti Delfino, I could attract them because they were very happy about the service. I could offer them all of a sudden to swap their shareholdership from a Benetti Delfino to a Mediterraneo. So after 2 years, one was 2-year part of the deal, one was 4 years already part of the which was my first client. I could offer them to swap to a bigger boat. So when you have once a fleet of co-ownership, you can mix people, you can give them the opportunity to grow. That's one thing. Another thing is also, and I explained it based on the visit that we had 2 days ago on board, was a lady who was crazy about the Caribbeans, but she also loved Europe. But there's a big difference. In the Caribbeans, she wants to spend time there with a lot of friends. Yeah, she said, but in Europe, it will be particularly me and maybe one other couple, and then the boat is too big. She said, Matty, it's a wonderful boat, but it's simply too big. I don't see me on this 35-meter fly sitting with me, myself, and another couple, 3 or 4 people. It's simply too big. How could you solve that? I said, okay, maybe we have a solution, because 2 of my past co-owners swapped from the Delfino to a bigger boat, so I have some shares available there. So maybe you should buy for the European use a more smaller boat, what is more cozy, more intimate, yeah, the share in there. And for the Caribbean time, we sell you 4 or 6 weeks in the Caribbean on a bigger boat where you spend a lot of time with a lot of people. So you can make nice combinations, you can upgrade, you can make nice combinations. This is from a owner's perspective, so for potential buyers. But it also brings a lot of opportunities for our staffing. So what we want to have, we want to keep our people on board of our organization, our people who become more and more SeaNet DNA. Yeah, they have a SeaNet DNA, the way that we like to work. And we have had now in the meantime, people who started as a deckhand, became an engineer, then a first mate, and now we could offer them a captain's role. So also within the company, not only owners can grow and move, also our people can move between boats, but still remain in the same company that they know, all based on rotational work. So it has from all different angles positive aspects.
During the course of my time on board, Matty really stressed to me that to him, quality is far more important than quantity. Now, of course, they want a bigger fleet of yachts, but they want quality yachts with quality crew, and maybe the most difficult thing, they want quality partners. The co-ownership structure depends upon co-owners being carefully selected. In fact, not everybody will be accepted as a co-owner of one of their yachts in the fleet. SeaNet Europe doesn't want people who have crazy, out of control parties, disrespecting the marina in which they find themselves, disrespecting the crew, disrespecting the yacht itself. In fact, Matty personally meets with every potential partner to ensure that they're compatible with the ethics and the standards of the other co-owners. That's largely why SeaNet Europe has become so successful. Now, some people will see all the services that SeaNet Europe offers, the concierge services, the yacht management, the crew management, and they'll want all those things, but without having to co-own the yacht. Effectively, they want the best of both worlds. And so SeaNet Europe have started to offer sole ownership services. And of all the things that I've learned so far on this trip, maybe that's the one that interests me the most. So the final video will take a look at what makes SeaNet Europe truly unique for people who want all of the benefits of co-ownership, but all to themselves on their very own yacht. SeaNet Europe will be attending the Cannes Yachting Festival from the 8th to the 13th of September. You can meet Matty and his team at the SeaNet Europe stand on Jetty 154.